Group play is nearing its end at CONCACAF Olympic Qualifying, and all 4 spots in the all-important semifinal round are now spoken for. One of them belongs to Canada, the reigning Olympic bronze medalists who tonight will get one last tune-up before playing for their ticket to Rio Friday against Costa Rica. The Canadians' opponent this evening, Guatemala, a side short on international experience, but who have proven anything but an easy out so far in this tournament. Sebastian Salazar, glad to be with you on NBC Sports Live Extra for this, the final match of the group phase from BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas. Really ideal conditions for soccer tonight. 71 degrees, hardly any winds as nightfall descends on the Bayou City. These teams separated by 65 spots in the latest FIFA ranking, so Las Chapinas, as the Guatemalan team are known, have their work cut out for them if they're to compete with this powerful Canadian side. Let's now go down to the field for the playing of the national anthems of Guatemala and Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to the flag of the national anthem of Canada to be followed by the national anthem of Guatemala.
Canada have all but clinched the top spot in Group B. It would take not only a loss tonight, but a loss by 12 goals or more to see the Canadians drop out of the top spot and avoid the United States in the semifinal round. John Herdman making plenty of changes to his starting lineup, most notably Stephanie LeBay taking over in goal for Aaron McLeod. LeBay, 29-year-old goalkeeper, plays for the Washington Spirit of the National Women's Soccer League. Some changes as well for Guatemala's Benjamin Monterroso, most notably again in net, where Alicia Navas takes over for Jocelyn Franco, who has had herself a great tournament to date. Plenty of options on both of these benches, especially Canada. Deanne Rose, Jose Belanger, Ashley Lawrence, Desiree Scott, Christine Sinclair, Sophie Schmidt, Diana Matheson, as talented a bench as you will ever see in a CONCACAF competition. Your captain for Canada tonight, Rhian Wilkerson. Her 169th cap for the 33-year-old defender. Played her college soccer at the University of Tennessee. Captain for Guatemala, Coralia Monterroso. Yes, the daughter of the head coach, Benjamin. An all-Mexican officiating crew. Center F, Quetzali Alvarado. Guatemala arrives fresh off a pair of 2-1 defeats. First to Trinidad and Tobago, second against Guyana, and in both of those matches, Las Chapinas held a 1-0 lead in the second half. Canada, on the other hand, has been dominant from the first moment of their first match. A 5-0 victory over Guyana, which saw a hat-trick from Ashley Lawrence, as well as a brace from Deanne Rose. The Canadians followed that up with a 6-0 trouncing of Trinidad and Tobago. Again, mathematically, Canada could still finish second in Group B, but that's all but impossible to imagine, given the quality of this Canadian side. And the mountain in front of Coralia Monterroso and her Guatemalan teammates. All but set to get underway here in Houston, Texas. And there we are, Canada in the all-whites, red trim, moving left to right on your screen. Guatemala, blue kit, white stripe, going right to left. Karisha Buchanan racing back towards her goal, where she finds Stephanie LeVay, the UConn graduate. Calmly plays to her Washington Spirit teammate Shalina Zadorsky. Zadorsky and Buchanan seem to be the central defense pairing of preference for now. For that man, John Herdman, Canada's English head coach. If you wonder why he's where he is right now in BBVA Compass Stadium, it's a tradition of Herdman's to watch the game, at least in the early moments, from on high, monitoring his team's shape. Wilkinson serving into the box, where it's cleared away by Deidre Martinez. Guatemala relying on a pair of very young outside backs, Martinez and Kellen Mayen, both just 16 years of age. They will gain some invaluable experience tonight. This Canada team, despite the fact that many of its regular starters are sitting loaded with quality. Rebecca Quinn, ball deflected in towards Melissa Tancredi. For Nichelle Prince, put it on goal, saved by Alicia Navas. Benjamin Monterroso, longtime professional player in Guatemala, starred for the national team, a member of the Guatemalan side that made it to the 1976 Olympic Games in Montreal. Guatemala have won just once at this stage of the competition. A 2-0 victory over El Salvador in 2008. Zadorsky to Buchanan. Who goes direct over the top. Gabrielle Carl, one of a couple teenagers in the lineup tonight for Canada. And the 17-year-old will draw the foul here. Excuse me, get called for the foul. She climbs over the back of Deidre Martinez. So much young talent in CONCACAF right now. We're seeing a 17-year-old and a 16-year-old doing battle at the senior level. Marilyn Rivera with a long clearance for Guatemala. Stephanie LeBay. Tonight, LeBay's 18th start in 24 caps. And in those, she's had 9 shutouts. Michelle Prince. Prince to serve. Straight into the middle, and it's a goal. 4 minutes in, Canada has pierced the Guatemalan net. Melissa Tancredi. Good build-up down the right side. Prince, a senior at Ohio State, with a picture-perfect delivery. And from there, Tancredi will almost never miss. The 34-year-old forward nods home from point-blank range. Many of you watching, big fans of the United States. The presumed final in this tournament would be Canada and the US. And just as the American team is undergoing their youth transition, as is Canada. Tancredi, part of the present of Canadian soccer. 5 career Olympic goals to her credit. She gets the service from Prince, one of the young up-and-comers in the Canadian pool. Here's another one. Jessie Fleming earning the corner kick. Fleming, part of a dynamite recruiting class heading to UCLA, along with Mallory Pugh of the U.S. More dangerous service here from the Canadians. Buchanan nods it on. Martinez able to head it out of the box. Only partially cleared by Guatemala. Rebecca Quinn to Fleming. Tancredi looking for Carl. Quickly off her line, Alicia Navas. Navas, a member of the World Cup qualifying effort for Guatemala back in 2014. Plays for Panecas in Guatemala. Here's Janine Becky. We'll get to know this field very, very well. He was recently the 8th overall pick in the National Women's Soccer League Collegiate Draft, taken by the Houston Dash to play here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Seven minutes in, Canada up 1-0 on the strength of a goal from Melissa Tancredi. Long distance shot draws a save from Navas, who already has had to be called into action 3 or 4 times in the opening 8 minutes. Well struck ball from Carl, one of 3 players on this roster that are 17 years of age or younger. Again, the true test for Canada will come on Friday when they play, most likely, barring an unforeseen turn of events here, Costa Rica. Canada have not at all been challenged throughout group phase. Easy victories over Guyana, then Trinidad and Tobago. From the looks of this start, it would seem as though another easy 3 points are in the offing for the Canadians. Andrea Rabanales loses it out of bounds for Guatemala. There are some real positive signs The side managed by Benjamin Monterroso. Rabanal is 17 years old. One of 3 teenagers in the starting 11 this evening for Guatemala. Becky with the shot. Second effort there from Carl, but Navas gathers under pressure. Herdman and his staff surely will have watched Costa Rica's 2-1 win over Mexico last night. A victory sparked by a pair of goals from Raquel Rodriguez. She will surely be the focus of the Canadian defense in 3 days' time. Again, 2 teams from CONCACAF will make it to the Rio Olympics. Each semifinal winner headed to Brazil later this summer, with the tournament beginning in early August. Those semifinals on Friday. A 5:30 start between what we assume will be Canada and Costa Rica. That game right here on NBC Sports Live Extra. Then at 8:30 p.m. it's the United States and Trinidad and Tobago. Game on NBCSN as well as NBC Sports Live Extra. Of course, the championship on Sunday, a 5 p.m. start from Houston. That game will be brought to you live on NBC Sports Live Extra, an encore performance at 10 o'clock at night on NBCSN. Fleming to Carl. A combination of teenagers. Canada took bronze in the London Games, thanks to a Diana Matheson goal in the third-place match, victory over France. They then played host to the Women's World Cup last summer, eliminated in the quarterfinals by England. Tancredi, 4 goals at the Summer Olympics in 2012. Plays professionally in Sweden. 34 years old, certainly in the twilight of her career. Deidre Martinez, just 16. The very beginning of hers. Long throw-in for the Guatemalan right back. First touch of the game there from Ana Lucia Martinez. She scored both of the Guatemalan goals so far in this tournament. Long ball, back post. Headed away by Monterroso, left-footed volley well wide of the target. Janine Becky. Driven ball into Navas, who gathers on the second effort. Becky played her college soccer at Texas Tech. At 21 years old, has quickly worked her way into John Herdman's plans for Canada. A rare mistouch there for the Canadians. Rian Wilkerson off the target. Benjamin Monterroso and this Guatemala side will feel as though they left something on the table at this tournament. Up 1-0 in the second half of both of their games. They were unable to close things out. Unable to even collect a point in either of those matches. Cristian Recinos earning the foul call. Recinos plays her college ball at Grand Canyon University, Division I school in the Western Athletic Conference. Not a ton of high pressure from the Guatemalans. They'll let Canada bring it calmly across midfield. Wilkinson, Quinn, Tancredi, Wilkinson, first time service. Took an awkward deflection, but credit to Navas for dealing with it well on her goal line. John Herdman, prior to taking over the Canadian program in 2011, led New Zealand for 5 years. Anisha Buchanan, one of the world's best young players. In fact, voted the best young player at last summer's World Cup. Alicia Chapman now. We've seen her create issues with her left-footed service throughout this tournament. She nearly does so there. Tancredi. Quinn. Prince. And squeeze the ball through a very small window in hopes of finding Wilkinson on the other side. Guatemala, all 11 players behind the ball. Fleming with a chance to shoot, opts instead to dish it off to Becky. A quarter hour in at BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas. Your only goal from Melissa Tancredi as Canada leads 1-0. Carl with a slick turn. Quinn. Direct service in, and the 20-year-old midfielder will have hoped to do better there. We've seen this in each Canadian game so far. John Herdman watching from the second level. Get the big picture, so to say. His team's shape and formation. It's been an interesting shape and formation. These games at times have been so lopsided, we've even seen Canada use just 2 defenders. And their outside backs have been extremely aggressive. Jose Belanger, now on the bench, a converted forward, has enjoyed acres of space and freedom from Herdman to go and join the attack, as has Alyssa Chapman. Buchanan finds Quinn. Guatemala settling back into their shell. Brief slip from Fleming. To find her footing and dish to Tancredi. Deidre Martinez under pressure. Andrea Rabanales simply dumps it downfield in search of Ana Lucia Martinez, but 1-on-4, 1-on-5 going to be very difficult for Martinez to do much. Quinn. Turn and shot from Becky. Navas with the save, gives up the rebound. But Gloria Aguilar there to guide it out of the box. Fleming, overlapping run from Wilkinson. Wilkinson to the near post. Knocked across and nearly put in by Carl. First Prince, then Carl with a shot to make it 2-0 Canada. Another overlapping run from a Canadian outside back. Carl at the far post nearly put it in. Shell Prince somehow manages to keep that in play. Now the pressure from Canada causing some issues for Guatemala. Well done from Brasinos to at least momentarily win that ball. But here comes Fleming, dropping it to Quinn. Selena Zadorsky. Pressure from Martinez. Zadorsky turns to Buchanan. Buchanan. And Wilkinson a step late. Goal kick, Guatemala. Herdman's seen enough. It's like he'll head down to the sidelines. Interesting tactic. I don't know that I've seen it from any other managers. Has the luxury, of course, to do it here in group play, where his team has been comfortably ahead early in most of these matches. Tancredi, Prince, left-footed shot, save Navas, rebound Carl, goal! But offside. And Carl seems to be the most likely Canadian to double their lead. As she's had a couple chances in the last few minutes. Carl just on the wrong side of that Guatemalan back four. Really now, in effect, they've back five. Daniela Andrade. Her first real involvement on the ball. Quinn searching for Becky. 21-year-old can't get there in time. Herdman sends his bench into action. Wilkinson, back to Buchanan. Wilkinson wearing the captain's armband tonight for Canada. One of the most experienced players in Canadian women's soccer history. Fancy move from Rebecca Quinn. She faces up against the Guatemalan defense. Las Chapinas, quick to retreat. Fleming from distance. Sails it over the bar. Fleming, widely considered one of the world's bright young talents. Got success at an under 17, under 20, even a full World Cup last summer under her belt. All before reaching her 18th birthday. Stephanie LeBay with the clearance. Quiet night so far for the 29-year-old goalkeeper. Fleming. Driving towards the Guatemalan goal, now pulls up and will go square to Quinn. Tancredi, Carl. Rabanales with the clearance. Buchanan under pressure, finds Wilkinson. They'll go back and forth. Buchanan, the nice switch. Tancredi in shooting range before her first touch fails. not be easy, though it only took 4 minutes for Canada to break down this Guatemalan defense. All 11 players, not just behind the ball, but really within 30, 35 yards of their own goal. The passing lanes very narrow. Tancredi outside of the foot pass, so delicate to Carl. Carl squares up against Monterroso. Cross to the near post, into the waiting arms of Alicia Navas. Rabanales nods it down to Ana Lucia Martinez. Martinez, quite a story. Scored a couple goals already in this tournament. Off-the-field exploits, though, just as impressive as her on-field. She's a chemical engineer by profession and has been a lead actress in a Guatemalan movie. The movie is about a female soccer player, so not too much of a stretch of her abilities there. Certainly a well-rounded talent for the Guatemalans. Wilkinson, Fleming through a challenge, through a second challenge. Still fighting for it. Andrade clears, but only as far as Buchanan. Crunching tackle from the Canadian center back. But here's Ana Lucia Martinez. 1 on 3, 4, 5. And no choice for Martinez but to pull it back. Which leads to a quick turnover from Guatemala and transition for Canada. Janine Becky. Driven to the back post. That's trouble. And Navas may have been beaten before the ball sailed over the crossbar. Becky, not sure if that was a cross or a shot. But she seemed to know exactly where Navas was. Interesting idea there from the former Red Raider. Martinez brings it down. Another turnover in midfield. Puts Canada on the front foot in the Guatemalan final third. Carl. Tancredi. Service in. Ball bounced around and finally in. Canada have gone up 2-0 through Gabrielle Carl. Tancredi usually on the receiving end of service like this. Lofts it into the box. Navas seemed to have a read on it. Collides with her own player. Kellen Mayen with the initial stop. And Carl able to push it across for a 2-0 Canada lead. "28 minutes in, and the Canadians seem destined for a perfect Group B performance. Foul on the far sideline, go against Canada. Deidre Martinez. Long service into the feet of Ana Lucia Martinez. Now Christian Recinos hauled down. So an opportunity here for Guatemala, who are making a rare foray into the Canadian final third. Daniela Andrade set to serve, University of South Florida graduate. Zadorsky heads it to the back post, only as far as Gloria Aguilar. Her effort makes its way back towards goal, but not enough to trouble Stephanie LeBay. Fleming loses out after some backside pressure from Ana Lucia Martinez. Martinez almost ended up playing on this field, trained with the Houston Dash during their expansion season of 2014. Now playing overseas, Rayo Vallecano in Spain. Quinn, chip over the top. And that run from Alyssa Chapman goes unrewarded. Quinn taking the semester off from her studies at Duke to play with the Canadian national team. See here, she had her eye on the Canadian left back. Chapman also has played abroad, spending some time in Sweden before returning to the NWSL last year. And she plays for the Houston Dash. Janine Becky, another member of Randy Waldrum's Houston Dash roster. The NWSL gets set to kick off its 4th season. A historic 4th season. No previous iteration of women's soccer in this country has made it to a 4th year. Tancredi with her back to goal. And what a save from Navas! She got a late look at it, as Becky drilled it toward the near post. Excellent work from the Guatemalan keeper. Becky on the second cross, headed down by Quinn. And Navas, despite her team's 2-0 deficit, in no rush to put this ball back in play. The odds stacked against Guatemala here. Canada 11th in the latest FIFA rankings. Guatemala 76. Corelia Monterroso, the captain and coach's daughter, playing out of trouble to Daniela Andrade. She cannot escape the Canadian pressure. Suffocating in midfield as Guatemala unable to get any semblance of possession through the opening half hour of this match. Wilkinson turning, burning, and looking for a service. Wilkinson to the near post. Helen Mayen clips it down, and Navas falls on top. Tancredi earlier in the game. Her goal, her 8th overall in this tournament. She's now in sole possession of 5th place all time in Olympic qualifying goals. Tancredi behind teammate Christine Sinclair. Maribel Dominguez of Mexico, who scored a spectacular goal last night in a 2-1 defeat. And a couple of American ladies you may recognize. It's Abby Wambach, Harley Lloyd. Chapman hauled down here by Deidre Martinez. Quickly back in play for the Canadians. Fleming, the one-touch. Shot blocked away by Guatemala. Now Carl on it. She loses out. A tough battle to Alida Argueta. Quinn, back post. And Prince misses a header there. She was in a offside position, the senior from Ohio State. Just 20 years old. Some more fresh blood in this Canadian pool overseen by John Herdman. Wilkinson. Prince able to keep it in. Working 1-on-3. Crosses back to the penalty spot. Wilkinson in the box. Buchanan. Tancredi lays it off. Swept away by Racinos. Zadorsky gathers for Canada. Slick touch from Carl. Here comes Chapman. Chapman. Becky. Goal. Canada in cruise control at 3-0 in the 36th. A beautiful build-up from the Canadians. Chapman with time and space picks out her target perfectly. And that target, 21-year-old Janine Becky, who hopes to find the back of this net more and more often as her professional career set to get underway soon for the Houston Dash. Guatemala, despite overwhelming numbers behind the ball, have struggled to maintain possession in midfield. The pressure of Canada has led to many turnovers for the Guatemalans. And Canada has been lethal in those instances. The few times when Guatemala is not set, Canada has managed to create either goals or point-blank scoring opportunities. Fleming, surrounded by a trio of Guatemalan defenders. Kellen Mayen, the last one to get there. She's here again for a clearance, but pushes it only to Carl. Carl, creating some space, as does Alyssa Chapman. More left-footed service from Chapman. Fleming the header. Canada dominating on the scoreboard and in possession. Ana Lucia Martinez bodied off the ball by Kadisha Buchanan. You can hear Canadian coach John Herdman imploring his team to maintain their tempo. Despite the lead, Herdman knows this game far less about this result, more about preparing his younger players for their future and the team overall for its future, which includes a Friday night date with Costa Rica. Winner of that match is going to Brazil. The loser is not. Ball headed off the near post, saved by Navas and swept away by Rabanales. Carl wide open in the box. Her header off the post. Before Navas could slap it away. Becky's left-footed effort well off the mark. 39th minute. Becky's goal coming in the 35th. Add to that a 4th-minute strike from Melissa Tancredi. One in the 27th from Gabrielle Carl. Tancredi, 34 years old. Carl, 17. Very interesting mix of experience and young talent on this Canadian roster. Rivera beaten to it, but she gets some help from Argueda. Buchanan plays collegiately at West Virginia. Now Fleming. Chapman. Fleming. Nice one-time ball wide. Carl zigging and zagging through the Guatemalan defense. The hustle play from Fleming. Youngster taking advantage of every minute she earns. So difficult for young players to break into these starting lineups for top-tier teams like Canada. Yet Fleming, Carl, Becky, Prince, and Buchanan have all been able to do so over the last couple years. Prince. Fleming. Becky and Fleming pinging it around the top of the box. They find Chapman on the left side. Mayen away. Volley from Quinn, cleared by Monterroso. A significant Guatemalan population in the greater Houston area. You see some of the familiar blue and white here to support Las Chapinas. Quinn had Tancredi for a brief second, decides to keep it herself. Fleming looking for the through ball, now may have a shooting angle. Slips it to Prince. Prince, shot blocked. Prince over the top and just over the bar. Prince nearly making some magic in the 42nd minute in search of her first goal of the night. Prince, part of the young Canadian core. And look who we have here. U.S. women's head coach Jill Ellis. Her American team set to face Trinidad and Tobago in the semifinals. That game, an 8:30 broadcast Friday night on NBCSN, as well as here on NBC Sports Live Extra. JP Delacamera, Kate Markgraf on the call of that one. Just as difficult as it must be for John Herdman to have his team ready for the semifinals, it must be difficult for Jill Ellis to scout the Canadians. No chance that they would dominate possession against the Americans as they have through their first 2.5 games in group play. Monterroso tries to cut it back. Ill-advised decision against Nichelle Prince. Prince with a full head of steam. Right past Aguilar. Prince, the toe poke. Prince, the goal! Nichelle Prince makes it 4-0 Canada. The rout on in the 44th minute. turnover on the wrong side of midfield for Guatemala, and away goes Prince. Straight line speed for the young attacker, and a clever finish to the back post. Pure class from the Canadian forward. John Herdman has got to like that. Christine Sinclair, 32 years old. Melissa Tancredi, 34 years old. There will soon be some pretty significant playing time up for grabs along that Canadian front line. Michelle Prince making a case that some of it should go to her. Ball played into the box. Looks like it took a deflection and off of a Guatemalan player's hand. It's Deidre Martinez, the guilty party on it. What it must be said was a very unfortunate deflection. And things going from bad to worse in a hurry for Guatemala. Well, not so unfortunate on second look. Martinez quite clearly making a play at the ball there with her left hand. And we've got a penalty kick here to end the first half. Looks like it'll be 20-year-old Rebecca Quinn. Plays at Duke University, though, as we mentioned earlier, taking the semester off. Participate in this tournament. Train with the Canadian team in hopes of a summer in Brazil. Quinn, Navas, Quinn, goal. Canada, 5-0 at the half. A flurry of Canadian goals ends in the final seconds of the opening 45 minutes. Rebecca Quinn, cool, calm, and oh so collected from the spot. Quinn joins Tancredi, Carl, Becky, and Prince on the score sheet. Canada up big as we head to the half. Brief break here on NBC Sports Live Extra. When we return, the second 45 minutes between Canada and Guatemala from BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas.